Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Esam Mahmoud. I'm the Senior Vice President of SMB in Etisalat. Thank you for joining today at the SMB Talks program. The SMB Talks program is a great platform that will enable us to stay connected and also keep our dialogues with different market expertise. We all know that the current crisis forced us to live in the exceptional times. And many business has been impacted differently. Not only that, in fact, even our social life has been impacted. Our social life with our families, our social life with our friends, and also our social life with our business colleague. We also understand that the severity of the situations is not only the responsibility of the market, it's the responsibility of all of us that we need to work together and overcome the crisis. So many business and most of the business trying their best to navigate and pass through the challenges they are facing on a daily basis. Throughout these platforms, the SMB Talks series, what we are aiming for is to be the partner with our clients to recover and recover soon. The SMB Talks will enable us to have an open dialogue and share the experiences across different sectors and also across different verticals. Every aspect of the SMB Talk throughout the series will feature a conversations. Will feature a conversations with an expert from a different industrial verticals, in the hope that the business will find the value and gain knowledge on how successfully it can go through these situations. In a moment, we will be looking closer to the real estate sector. We are currently seeing that real estate is going through tremendous changes under the different global market forces, and it's also to be interesting to see how things can be stabilized. And to talk about this ones, we have to talk about this crisis. Please welcome our expert for this session, Mr. Kenneth, the Group Head of IT and Operations from Omniyat. Omniyat is one of the idealistic development real estate and service groups on the Gulf regions. So please welcome with me, Mr. Kenneth.
Hi Esam, how are you?
Hi Kenneth, very good, alhamdulillah, how are you?
Good, fantastic.
Nice
good to see you again. Yeah.
Me too, nice
how
good
things,
to see you too.
I know it's a very challenging time, but thank you for having me on. I think it's very important that these times that we are going through are challenging, as you said, but nevertheless, given the potential of the investments that happen here, we definitely see that we will recover much faster, and I think that's a positive look of what we see all along. And yes, we are into this now for quite some time, but nevertheless, I feel that these are times that will pass by and we will come out much stronger.
Inshallah, we'll go together, and thank you very much for sparing of your busy times. I know with the current situation, everybody is busy to overcome the situation and to overcome the crisis. So we do appreciate of sparing your times. Kenneth, I have a couple of questions just to understand how the real estate business has overcome the situations. So we know that the coronavirus has infected many people across different countries, and the spread of it has lifted the business around the world, counting the cost. So from the real estate perspective, the Omniyat, how this crisis impacted the company?
See, nevertheless, the time the economies and the businesses have suffered a heavy blow, and with the lockdowns that have gone beyond 60 days, we don't find ourselves not immune to this. Definitely, yes, we have had an impact. The impacts are basically, the slowdowns and initial hiccups that were there. But we have been working very closely in terms of how we want to come out of this. And I think years of investments that we have done, both in technology and also processes, I'm sure that will work to our benefit as we look forward. And definitely, as Omniyat, we do have niche products. We are segmenting the niche market. So those are markets which definitely we see, that will revive as soon as the market starts reviving.
That's good to hear from you also, and good to hear the insights. Kenneth, I'm sure that there are lots of lessons has been learned, or lessons or initiatives has been successfully implemented within the Omniyat. Can you just share with us a couple of those lessons you have learned during this crisis?
Yes, definitely. I would always say that I've seen large companies invest millions of dollars on technology and actually never benefit from that because they have never looked at that vision or perception in terms of what the technology is. Now at Omniyat, we also do a lot of, we continuously invest in different types of technologies. We continue to invest in people and skills. We have been looking at using technology to our benefit. And that's where we had moved to the cloud 2 years ago. And this is something, had been very, for us, a good platform that we moved on to. And the day it was a decision made that we all will work from home. In fact, we did work from home much earlier than the government lockdowns. The reason being, we were already ready. So we wanted to protect the interest of our employees and the health of our employees. And we moved a week or 2 weeks much earlier than the actual work from home or lockdowns that were there. The technology that we had in place, being on the cloud and being powered on with applications which are of industry standards today has paid off because we just switched off at one place, we switched on at the other, and we were back up and running. We were not, even for a single hour down. We could have people, our employees start working back from home and all seamlessly. Now, what we've learned from that is though we invest in technology, people never use it. They're so comfortable with what they do daily. They never use it. They have so many things which are which benefit us on a day-to-day basis, but people don't really go into the depth of using it. One of them could be like, I would say, Teams, for instance, Microsoft Teams, which is a very beautiful platform that always existed with us, but we never used it to our potential. We were always working around, being very comfortable in office, meeting each other, talking. Now, when we do it remotely, it's very important that the communication continues. People start communicating. Then only an organization works. You don't work, just sitting out of your box or out of your home. So these are platforms which we have seen that have started becoming, more and more beneficial to organizations. I've just given one example, but I would like to say that even people, didn't know simple things of how to share the screens, how to, come into a chat room, how to chat or how to get into a conversation, how to share files, how to work on a single file. I think these technologies existed, but people have never made use of technology. They were so comfortable with whatever was there. And I think we've all come out of this comfort. See the positive side. We've all started using technology, and that's going to stay. That's going to grow. And I see that it's only going to go forward. It's not going to go backwards. And people have started adapting to that, which is good, which is very positive.
Absolutely. Yeah. Kenneth, you have mentioned that working from home. I know that it's a new techniques or a new activity has been done by many organizations. Some entities or some organizations were ready for it and some were absolutely not ready. So yes. From the Omniyat, I need to understand what are the changes the Omniyat has done and you think that they will become as a permanent within the Omniyat activity.
Yeah, see, for us now, we have sort of all our business meetings will happen through Teams. So that's going to stay permanent because even though we will get back to office, just to maintain the social distancing that will become a rule now and that will be the need of the hour, we will continue to have meetings that stay within within us at a distance. So even if we sit in our offices, probably we might still continue to use this tool. The other thing that becomes a norm for us will be work from home is now going to be will be encouraged for people who can work from home. We are not going to stop the work from home. We are going to continue that. And if you look at the Western world, they've already done this much earlier. People used to work from home, and there was a concept in many organizations where they would force people to work at least once or twice a month from home, just to see how they can collaborate. And I think it's a good time that we, all of us here, understand this, that if this is going to continue, then your work from home definitely would mean that it continues. You need to, for any organization, it is safeguarding the interest of their employees, which are the assets of the organization. And I think to keep that, we have created a roster that people come in and go at different intervals. So we are even looking at a longer duration of a day. So people will come in the morning and then leave and then work from home, and then the next batch comes in. So not everybody will be in office at the same time. This is one of the proposed options that we are looking at. But yes, as I say, work from home will continue, and that's going to be the new norm for us.
That's the new changes that have been implemented in every organization. I mean, for me, I believe at the beginning, everybody was thought this will be a difficult moment and it could not be successful. But once we have implemented, we have seen the benefits. We have seen how the people performance has been changed, has been increased. Lots of things and lots of changing has been done in our life once we started the work from home. Personally, I was expecting that if we start the work from home, how are we going to manage our daily work? How are we going to manage our contact with the customers? But this has absolutely has been changed after we start to use it and we start to get used to the work from homes. Especially that there are lots of tools, as you mentioned. Teams, one of the successful tools, also has been released by Microsoft Office, so that people can collaborate, people can meet, but people also can interact with each other and make sure that their work is it's up and running, which is, as you have mentioned, is absolutely good. So, Mr. Kenneth, as an expert on the real estate, so what are the major changes you see it's happening in your industries, or what are the new opportunities you believe could raise during this COVID or during this crisis?
See, when we look at purely from a real estate perspective, the real estate perspective, I think, might be the beneficiary of the solution to the problem that we have right now. Because people around, if you look at many of the countries have found it very difficult to contain, the pandemic. But I think here we've been doing a fantastic job. And that brings in a more positiveness within the region, where people would, as soon as the borders open up, might find it much better and convenient, looking at how the medical facilities are available here and how the government has worked very closely, and they might be the beneficiaries of it. I think what's important is to keep that communication with our clients, our customers, our agents, and in this industry, so that we continue to engage with them in terms of making them understand what's the next steps. I think what I see missing is people stop communicating. They're just stuck with this crisis, that we are in a crisis and we stop. No, we are in this crisis, but we can get out of it. Look at the positive side. Every crisis has that golden dot, which we all have to explore. And here lies that golden opportunity. And I see that, yes, though we see the slowdown now, and we might see a little bit of the slowdown continuing, but I think if everybody works together, I think we can all turn this around. Yeah, it's going to be a different world. I'm not saying it's going to be the same, but I see an opportunity. I see an opportunity given, the strong commitments that are there here in the city and country, that we will continue to, that segment will continue to grow, and I think that segment would stay more potential. I see it more potential.
Have you designed a clear roadmaps how the real estate or how the Omniyat could reach to that stages of the opportunities? Is there any clear roadmaps that the Omniyat has designed or implemented?
Yes, I think as I said, there are two things that we have very clearly defined and clearly we have been looking at. One is continue to engage with our partners and our business associates, whatever the condition, we don't mind on the that we might have our drawbacks, or we might have a positiveness. We share our thoughts and our ideas, and we keep communicating and engaging with our business associates, our customers, and everybody that's within the chain. The second part is we have not stopped developing. We have not stopped. In fact, we used to our advantage the situation where we continue to develop our properties. So what would happen is we might be at the forefront and we might deliver much earlier than we anticipated. Because now we have a workforce which is available to work for us, and we maintaining all the norms of distancing and everything, we still understood that that things have to move, and it's time that whatever we have taken and whatever is in our hand, we rather complete them rather than looking forward and trying to engage in something new. So that objective will definitely help us as a driver forward. Now let me give you an example. Even when we looked at work from home, initially the curve was people were confused, people were not understanding, people were not able to engage comfortably. But you look now, really people are working much more than they worked when they were in office. Today you see people engaging evening, engaging early morning, engaging on weekends. We're having a lot of discussions all the time, and this is very productive. The reason being, psychologically, people are more relaxed because they don't need to dress up, they don't need to go to work, they don't need to drive, they don't need to do all the nitty-gritties that go in to reach office. And then you are in a different phase when you're in your office because you have so many people around you. But whereas when you're back home, you're so relaxed. You are in that comfort zone. It's your comfort zone. And I think where we look at certain industries, we need to make our customers get into that comfort zone. That comfort, when it comes in, that is going to be our driver of the industry. Any industry, we are not talking about the real estate industry. Any industry is when you bring people into that comfort zone, that comfort becomes your driver. And I think that is what we should all work towards.
I'm really glad to hear that the positiveness that Omniyat has in reaching this opportunity. I'm really surprised. I'm really also appreciating all these discussions. Kenneth, let's take the next 12 or 18 months. What do you see the top priorities for your business in the coming 12 to 18 months?
See, we will, in the next 12 to 18 months is in fact a very large period to think about today, because I think the evaluation will start happening. And it's very important that, if you make a longer term plan today, that longer term plan might not be really beneficial. So what we have started doing is we started breaking that into a 60-day plan, which we call as a quick turnaround 60-day plan. And this 60-day plan will keep going 60 days. And we know we have to get the next 12 months through this. So because it's evolving, every day it's evolving, every day there's something new, and it's we cannot predict. None of us can foresee what is going to come. So in the next in the next 12 months or the next 60 days, what we have planned is that the first and the foremost thing is to encourage our own employees, to basically work with our own teams, so that we put a positive foot forward, and we basically encourage them in terms of looking at the securities that today people look for. Is the job securities, your salaries, your other things, the medical aid. So we are all combining to help our employees feel more comfortable, more secured in these conditions. And then when you have a happy and very positive employee, what happens? They go out and absorb, and they are able to drive the business that is required. Now we do see a lot of negativity that is happening within the segments, that business partners, suppliers, everybody is working around very tight norms, because a lot of the business has come to a standstill. And the fact of life remains that when a business comes to standstill, there are very little things which are with your control. But what is more important is, as you keep communicating and as you keep assuring, and I think that assurance, commitment is very important to anybody. because today it's very easy to have a conflict and have something that you feel because of the situation, because everyone, if I might say as an example, not everyone would basically take the situation within the stride that you feel you are taking. Some people get aggressive, some people attack, some people come and have conflicts, because everyone takes it differently. We are humans, end of the day. I think understanding that factor, we take it as it comes. As we see that we have to deal with something, we sit all together and we deal in the interest of everybody. It is a business that we all want to continue. It's not something end of the world. We don't see this as end of the world. We see it as something that has happened. We will work towards an objective. We will definitely look at how we can engage more with our partners, and we move forward. Like as I mentioned earlier, is we have started basically continuing the development. So we talk to all our development partners, all our contractors, subcontractors, and we ask them, is there a difficulty in terms of doing it? And we analyzed every aspect of it, what could happen, the worst and the best. We used it to our advantage and we started going forward. We've not stopped. So I think every industry needs to look at their end. There are those positive lines that if you hold it, it will move forward. That we are not at the end of the world. We are just at a temporary stop. I think this is something which we all have to understand. And we be prepared. We have to be prepared also.
You mentioned that you have already talked to the supplier and have already talked to the clients. Have you noticed or have you seen any change in their expectation, demand, or their behavior?
Positiveness. Again, the positive thing is when we started engaging, we were not expecting, that much of a outcome out of our discussions. But trust me, everybody in the world today has now accepted the challenges that are there. It's not that, that people are just taking those decisions as they come. People now have accepted, and when there is a discussion, I think the discussions are more in terms of both sides working together to see how they both come out of it. And I think that's the only way we can come out of it. Definitely suppliers have their own challenges. Everybody has a challenge. So it's a cyclic chain that affects everyone at every point. But once you are putting the your roadmap forward, your thought process forward, I think suppliers are also again back. They are like us. They are human beings. They understand, and people have started taking it positively. And I see that positiveness in everybody that we are engaging with today. And it depends how you engage. I think engaging is important. The more distance you keep within that, I think that creates more uncertainty. And we started engaging. So we closing the gap as much as possible. And to be frank, a lot of things, what we never expected also have started happening. So that's very positive news for us. And that takes us to the step where we now can execute what we are put forth in the next 60 days. So we do 60 days. It's good to have a long-term plan, but I think given the current scenario, I see a change can happen, and it can happen for the positive. We see that, a lot of things in the market also can revive soon, and things like, businesses that are there and are here to stay, they will definitely continue. Yes, the support mechanism has to be created. Once we create the support mechanism, this is where, the businesses will have, start moving forward, because a lot of people are set, like Omniyat. We are set as a business. The temporary stop will not basically halt anything for us. We are here to, move things forward. And I think everybody, if they look at this positively, I think we are, we will come out of it faster.
So Kenneth, as you mentioned, seeing the change of customer and supplier change and expectations, do you see that as an Omniyat, being an agile or being speed and executions could be a competitive advantage to Omniyat?
Yes, definitely. With us, trying to, when we finish our projects and we are ready to deliver these projects earlier, what are the things that, we see is that will not only enhance us to have a loosened belt. Today, the belt is tight, and that's because of the lockdown. As soon as you start delivering your projects, one is you are over the expectation of your customers. You are providing something earlier. That is a positiveness during this time when everybody is feeling very negative, actually. And that's one thing that we want to do for them, is that give them something. We are in fact going 2 steps further. We are engaging with all our clients, assuring them that nothing has stopped. Things will move. You will get your whatever you have invested in will be there on time. Again, with our suppliers also, we work towards every objective. We know suppliers also have their hard times. Some of the suppliers are comfortable. They can agree with what we want to do. Some suppliers might not. You have different layers of people. You need to work within those layers. So there's one set rule will not work for everybody. So you need to work within the different segments that are there.
Absolutely right. Going back again to technology, you mentioned at the beginning that you have used the technology for your daily interact, for daily work with the people, with the customer, with the clients. What is as a group of IT? So what is your plan to accelerate the digitalizations in Omniyat?
Yeah, we had, Esam, if I tell you, 20 years back, we had engaged with Etisalat and Comtrust facility in Abu Dhabi. That was the first data center that Etisalat had put up under the Comtrust name. And we were one of the 5, I don't want to name the 4, but we were one of the 5 who had invested in this technology. Now, if you look at 20 years back when there was no cloud, nobody had heard of online applications, and they were very standard in-office, in-house applications. We had hosted our applications and we were running our operations out of Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. So even at those days when there was limitation of application, we used technology to our benefit, and thanks to the vision of the country where Etisalat had already put up those infrastructures, it helped us as a business to be as much creative and use those investments that are there to our benefit. And we used it 20 years ago. Now let's look at today. Today we've already done a lot of investment on technology. In fact, we are almost 99% on the cloud. When I say 99%, there is a very few factors which we cannot take to the cloud, but most of our systems and applications and shared folders and everything are on the cloud. So today there is no dependency. People share folders like the way I share it from one desk to another in office. Today that's the way people work. They are already into that platform. Now we are going even more. We look at from a digital point of view. You look at different factors that might help us in future. One of the thing is digitizing your copies of all your contracts and everything. So we see that that is something that might help us in future. AI is one of the things that come to my mind that might help us, like bots. And again I am trying to enhance the use of blockchain. When we look at the industry we are in, especially contracts are more valuable. I think the governments are working within the blockchains to enable the contract management. And if these things come in, I think it gives not only a sense for Omniyat to be in a platform where everything is accessible with all the security. I think even the clients would benefit from this. Like today we have technologies which we are able to show our properties to our clients. We are able to show their own units, because we have the capability to take them through a drive. So somebody says, I want to see my unit. Are you sure this is my unit which is ready? We take him through a walkthrough, through a digital walkthrough, live.
Exactly, yes.
So, you are building that confidence. So we started engaging with our clients and asking them whatever they need, they have a doubt, please talk, engage. And once they started engaging, I think they start looking at the positive side of the whole thing. Now, when we look at technology, there are a lot of technologies available today. In fact, if you look at Etisalat Digital, for instance, it's a powerhouse. It has everything under one roof. And I don't think many people know it, No, I don't think too many people know it. And if we look at how we plan to use it, is we are engaging with Etisalat not only for telecommunication. We are engaging with Etisalat to also power our buildings, get us anything that is required for the infrastructure, right from our apartments where we give people a television in every apartment. Etisalat has supplied and installed it. Then you see all the boards that are there, outside, outdoor boards, the display boards,
yes.
digital boards. These are factors which we take, and there are services which are available with Etisalat. Now, if you look at the industry, when I was I think you wanted to say something.
No. I was referring to the same point you have mentioned regarding the digital. I mean, people used to do it previously manual. It's only a blackboard or bridge boards. Now, if you notice that in every bridge, in every angles, there is a digital, there is a screen.
Correct.
So people moved out from the previous or from the old boards into the digitals, which is more let's say more costly, more effective, also more performance for the entity, for the organizations. Absolutely, I totally agree with you.
No, and again, when I was trying to make a point also. See, there are a lot of segments of the society that or the industry of different businesses like the SMEs. They don't need to, if they have an understanding of the digital Etisalat digital platform. I think for them, a quick start today in terms of how they engage, how they move their platforms, and also how they work around using the facilities that Etisalat is giving. Especially when we look at today, if I'm an owner of an office and I need to move into everybody work from home, the first thing is everybody needed a notebook. Basic.
Agreed.
Correct? He needs a notebook. So he needs a platform to connect to his office. Now, these are things which are available with Etisalat already. You don't need to go to a store and purchase 100 notebooks. You can basically take those notebooks from Etisalat on a staggered approach, and various options. I think it's very important that when we see what happens during this situation is we should see the positiveness of it, where we promote something where it benefits us. It is Etisalat that will basically mutually agree with everyone. And I think if they support all the companies with what they have under the umbrella, I think definitely a lot of companies would find it worth to go and start investing and working around it. And these are things I feel are opportunities during the downtimes, which we all sometimes fail to see it in a broader view. These are opportunities where every department in Etisalat should rather work with SMEs and work with various companies, not only SMEs, where they showcase what they have, and they can basically start engaging and become the biggest partner in the region in engaging with everybody. Why not?
If you allow me, Kenneth, I'll take you back again to what you have mentioned regarding the blockchain. We have noticed and we have seen a lot of organizations, including the government, is investing a lot on the blockchains. So could we also see that Omniyat is using the blockchain would be the most innovative and the most necessary technology they want to drive?
Two things, AI and blockchain. These are the two things that are on our mind for a very long time, in fact, because a lot of things start getting automated. We will try, when people start working from home, it's not only working from home. We will create work from home with efficiencies. Now, how do you create those efficiencies? If you want to create a 24/7 call center, you will use AI, where AI will basically, off office hours, or will take your calls and guide the person through, or guide your clients through. That is one of the segment. The other thing is that we do a lot of, standard processes. Standard processes can be taken over by bots. Bots are available today. So AI comes into picture there. Now, when we look at blockchain, where does blockchain really benefit organizations like from the property segment? It's where the contract managements are. Now, I'm sure the government is already working on blockchain to bring in all the contracts into that. So definitely we will all move into that direction of using blockchain. And blockchain is something that is powerful for the future. And I think it's time that people start using it to their benefit in the given scenario, that you bringing something different to people, which makes them more comfortable. I think this is the time that we need to bring that, not later. It's a right time. There are a lot of things that we can bring at a time when it brings comfort to people. And these are the times I feel is the right time for a lot of things to be put forward.
I'm really inspired with the vision the Omniyat has in movement to the technology, movement to the AI and the blockchains. I'm really glad to hear it. I'm really happy to listen also. I know that the time is very critical for you, Kenneth, but I have only one last question. We can close it then. Kenneth, from the technologies, as technology providers, how do you see that technology providers can support you in this crisis, on this moment? And which technology you think is the best to focus on?
Correct. See, when we say, technology partners per se, I would rather say that what has happened today, I don't know whether you've noticed this. You suddenly find that, people are not communicating. You do not get those emails that, oh, I'm providing these services or I have this technology. I've seen a lot of companies actually fail to do it. Why? Why do they feel that people will not invest during this time? Trust me, there are certain investments that will happen only now. They will not happen later. And if it happens now, it will continue to happen.
Good, you give us a hint now. It's a good hint for us then.
Yeah, these are things. I'm just seeing why people just shut the door and they think, okay, the door is locked and I'm not sure whether it will open. No, it's just closed. It's not locked. You just have to push it. And people need to look at that factor, how to move forward. And these are times where definitely, I will tell you, people are confused and people do not know what they want. If there is somebody, and there are technology players like yourself, Etisalat, that can put forward a positive foot, help people in different segments, showcase them what they have, I am sure, trust me, I would say that this would be your best time. Another month and a month later, weeks or months later, market starts slowly opening up. If the platforms are ready, you are ready, everybody's ready, and there are solutions which are ready and people are working within them with different options, I'm sure that acceleration will start happening faster than you thought. And these are times where we should start now and not close. People, unfortunately, are using this time to close themselves. No, these are the times to open it. In fact, we at our organization, our chairman says that, we are all as a family, let's work together. Your problem is my problem. We all need to work together. So we talk.
Together, collaboration.
Communicate. Yes. It's very important. And it's all layers of the organization need to work together. And people are, confused, depressed, a lot of things. Yes, that has happened. That is over. You're 60 days through. You're used to it now. People are used to it. People know what it is. It's part of your life. You just need to move forward. And I see that a lot of technology providers need to start communicating, start addressing the industry, start working with different segments. And yes, you might not see that huge volumes right now, but definitely a lot of decision will happen within this period because people are looking at that.
I'm really glad to hear that, and definitely it's given us as a boost now, even for us as the technology partners, to move ahead and to move also fast and to be agile also in approaching our customer with our latest technology, latest offers, or latest even the services which we can also provide. Kenneth, we really, once again, I really appreciate all the times you have spent to us today. I do also thank you very much for being being in our SMB Talks platforms. I do appreciate your times, and I really thank you very much for your information, for your insight, and also sharing your expertise in the industry. Thank you very much, Kenneth, and I wish you all the best. And so stay safe, you, your family, and your colleague. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Esam. Thank you very much for having me on this platform.
My pleasure.
It has been always encouraging to engage with with different players in the market, especially Etisalat. And insight is very important because a lot of people, when they do not have the insight of an organization, they only believe what they see. And it's in these platforms where they understand that there is much more than what you have. And I think that portion, when it opens up, and we all end of the day contribute to this to the community, and this is the way we contribute by giving information. That's a way of contributing. It's not always contributing to monetary way. It is also you contribute to communication, right communication, and these are things which help people to look positively ahead. Unfortunately, we got caught up into this. But nevertheless, isn't it a learning? It is a learning for all of us. We've all learned a different way of life. We got to be happy. We all learned a different way of life now. And if not for this, we would have never learned it. Right?
This is our aim.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Esam, and nice talking to you. and always welcome. We can engage whenever we want.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care. See you.